Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to our online YouTube community. So glad that you're all here with us today. I hope you have enjoyed our previous series, Foundations in Unity, and recognized that the connecting power is your thought. Each and every one of the talks during the month of September outlined one of our foundational teachings, and they are all rooted in thought. Last week, Bill Werner spoke about the power of fear. Just a thought in your imagination that can take your life and turn it upside down. And yet, it is nothing more than a thought in our imagination. We choose what thoughts we think, what thoughts we allow time in our minds to create something bigger in our life. So fear, being a thought, is our choice. If we change our thinking, we change our life. And so that foundational series sets the foundation, no pun intended, for our new series. Our new series is called The Trance of Scarcity. And I got that title from this book called The Trance of Scarcity, Stop Holding Your Breath and Start Living Your Life by Victoria Castle. When I saw this book and started to read it, I was captivated by how easily we fall into that trance. When I consider our world and the race consciousness around us, the collective consciousness of our collective thoughts, collective fears, collective ideas, collective behavior, we create an energy that we live in. Each of us are both affected by that race consciousness, and we contribute to it. We have an element of that collective thought running through our conscious and our subconscious minds. A couple weeks ago, I talked about the devil, and that the devil was nothing more than the negativity we allow into our world and our thoughts and our lives. And so race consciousness right now is filled with negativity. It is prevalent. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, you guys were supposed to join, okay. Charles Fillmore. Okay, you're all sleeping. There's coffee in the fellowship hall. The author of The Revealing Word defined the metaphysical meaning of race consciousness or collective consciousness as the totality of beliefs, thoughts, and memories, feelings, and experiences of the race culture of humankind. He said that man has built into the race mind a consciousness of corruptible flesh instead of the inherent incorruptible substance of the divine, of God mind. So what he says is that mankind corrupts, but the divine does not. Humanity has collectively chosen to focus on the outer world of effects, as opposed to the inner world of the divine, by connecting mind and heart with the truth of your nature. A couple weeks ago, I challenged you to overcome the tendency of the negative thinking that probably runs as a background program in your experience. How are you doing with that? Oh, laughter, still working, okay. Because it's important that each of us no longer contribute to the negative cesspool of race consciousness. Once we know better, we must also do better. Sorry, somebody had to say it. Amen, thank you. Last week, Bill asked you this question: is there something more you need to experience that your fear is keeping you from? And if so, what are you going to do about it? I loved it. I was like, yes! I was watching the video, but I was like all excited. Choice. We choose to live in negativity and fear, or we choose to live in love and abundance. I bring this up because one of the overriding thoughts in our culture, one of the concepts of negativity in race consciousness, is that of scarcity. What do you think when you see this empty cake plate with chocolate frosting? Yes, I missed my piece. There you go. Scarcity, lack, limitation, the sense of not enough. The thought that if you get cake, I won't get any. So I must get to the cake first. Have you ever seen siblings run to the dessert table? Oh my God, fighting over the last cookie, the last cake, the last slice of pizza, whatever it is. Who finished the ice cream and put the container back in the freezer? Come on! It is rooted in the idea of lack, limitation, and separation from our good. Who here wants to have a life rooted in the idea of separation from your good? Come on now, raise your hands. Oh my God. I know you're joking. Built into our culture is a way of being and a belief in not enough. This was my kitchen cabinets in college, very empty. And at the time, there was a belief in not enough time, not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough cooperation, not enough love, not enough power, not enough cake. You name it. There was not enough. Have you ever had that experience? Are you still having that experience? This prevailing belief in not enough has crippled individuals, companies, groups, churches, governments. It is crippling the world right now. And yet, even though we see and sense this suffering that is predominant, we are loyal to the idea of not enough. Loyal to something that makes us and everyone we know and love suffer. It's got a chokehold around all of us. As a culture, we are in a daze. We are under the weight of this belief of not enough. And it's been pointed out to us many, many times. In the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, he refers to this daze as a symptom of our domestication process. We have succumbed to the teachings and the power of the outer dream. We have surrendered who and what we are to this belief. As children, we agreed with what we were told by our parents, by our elders, that a small r reality in not enough was the way it was. It was the way it's always been, and it's the way it's always gonna be. How many of you have heard that story? How many of you still believe that story? We spend a lot of time and energy keeping that story alive, maintaining the dream of the outer world at our own peril. Because that story does nothing for our individual and collective quality of life. Jesus said, we have a Father giving us the kingdom. As heirs to the kingdom, it is up to us to claim our inheritance. All you got to do is show up and say yes. Who here is ready for that? Every hand in the room should be up. So because we have bought into the outer dream and accepted the trance-like state of race consciousness, of not enoughness, that domestication process, oh, it's very strong. We have all those tapes playing in our head. Not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. What did I say? It takes courage. It takes mindfulness. It takes effort to break free of the prison that you just saw. You sitting in this room and those of you watching online are rebels with a cause. That's why I love you all so much. Your personal and our collective freedom is at stake. We must break free of limitation and lack and a belief in not enough. We can break free. Others have broken free. Once you break free, you no longer see this sign everywhere you look in your life. For those of you on YouTube, the picture on the wall says, "Sorry, the lifestyle you ordered is currently out of stock." And so, why would we believe that we want something but cannot have it? We live in an abundant universe. There is more than enough for everyone. At some point, we realized that our complaining about life was a story we made up to be in alignment with what we were told, so that we would belong and to fit in with the story of not enough that everyone else seemed to believe. Well, if that's what it takes to fit in, I'm not doing it. Who here's with me? Yes. I don't want to fit into a story like that. I've got bigger and better things. You've got bigger and better things. Amen. Unity principle number 3. We create our experiences by the activity of our thinking. What are you going to think about? Lack and limitation? No. Abundance? All of our needs being met? Overflowing. My cup overfloweth. Say that with me. My cup overfloweth. Now don't be spilling your coffee on the carpet later. I found this list on the website. And so I invite you to consider each one of these points for yourself. If it is a thought and behavior that you can identify with. Now, this is for yourself, not your spouse, not your kids, not your parents, you. It's a list called 10 Signs You Have a Scarcity Mentality. Yeah, ooh. Number 1, it's not difficult for you to complete short-term tasks, but you struggle with prioritizing long-term goals and following through. 2, seeing photos online of your friends' weddings, babies, homes, vacation kind of pisses you off. Because they're bragging. You feel like they're bragging. Number 3, you've perfected the art of waiting for the other shoe to drop, especially when things are going so well for you, because you know bad news is right around the corner. Number 4, you don't donate much to charity, just enough to be able to say that you tell yourself that you gave, so you can feel good that you gave. Not too much, just a little. Number 5, your closets are full and your house is cluttered. You haven't been in your garage in years. But you find it hard to get rid of things because you never know. You might need that someday. You never know. So the ushers have handed you this little pink hippopotamus folder with a trash bag. Your assignment, for those of you who agree with that, and many of you do, is to go home and fill this trash bag and bring it back in the next 48 to 72 hours, so that you can contribute some of those things to our annual pink hippopotamus rummage sale. Nan can make arrangements to pick up the big stuff. Number 6, you secretly love trashy tabloid stories about the celebrities who got fat or a botched plastic surgery job or destroyed their marriage by cheating and stupidity. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Number 7, you'd rather save than spend money. Your friends may call you frugal. Others may call you cheap. But you see yourself as practical. After all, the underlying belief is that financial destitution is just a breath away. Number 8, you're green with envy over your high-achieving peers and trash talk their expensive purchases to others and yourself. Seriously, who needs a new car every single year? What's wrong with last year's model? It's ridiculous. Number 9, you believe in fate and usually feel there is little one can do to change a bad situation. You don't really see yourself growing or any future improvement because you've never witnessed anyone else achieve or improve. And last but not least, the phrase, "can't afford it," comes out of your mouth regularly, travels the map of your neural pathways regularly, and it is a predominant belief constantly running through your thoughts, words, deeds, and experience. Pretty powerful list, huh? Yeah, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands here. So with a scarcity mindset, our thoughts and actions stem from the place of fear. We know that fear is in our imagination. It is a thought before it is anything else. And living in fear is a choice. Sorry to burst your bubble. That's why I get paid the big bucks. Pop. Scarcity thinking orients our mind, our thoughts, our actions, our words, our behavior toward the unfulfilled. Unfulfilled needs, unfulfilled wants, unfulfilled desires. We are made in the image and likeness of the divine. The Garden of Eden has everything we desire at our fingertips. Focus on knowing the truth of the inner connection so that you can fulfill through your connection to the divine, through God mind, to the universal life source, so all your needs can be met. That scarcity mentality also affects how you view yourself. Not just the outer world, it affects the inner world. You may never feel pretty, smart, young, sexy, attractive, good enough in any regard. And so how do we replace that scarcity mindset with an abundance mentality? Because it's just the other side of the coin that you're already carrying in your pocket. Flip it over. Let's do so right now. Take that coin out of your pocket, put it in your hand, flip it over, put it in your other pocket. See how easy that was? We individually must cultivate abundance and free ourselves from the rut of negativity thinking, of lack consciousness. And we do so by using affirmative language of an abundant life. This is why we did affirmative prayer early on in our Foundations of Unity study. It is a key to everything. For example, let's try it. Instead of saying there's not enough time, we know there's plenty of time in the day to finish all I need to do. Instead of saying we can't afford, we could afford that if we really wanted to, but we choose to spend our money on other priorities. For me, that would be organic food, healthcare, family time, spending time in nature, a new book. Yes, a new book. I have so many books. I can handle this. Say that with me. I can handle this. I'm strong and powerful. Yes, you are. And I'll always have enough. I'll always have enough. Oh, let's do that one again. I'll always have enough. Yes. So I challenge you to step forward in faith to practice these ideas and thoughts. Be generous. Donate your time, your energy, your rummage. You have an abundance of those things. Let go. Practice gratitude. Start every morning thinking about what you're grateful for. Start every day with a moment of appreciation. It lifts your spirits, puts a smile on your face, and people will wonder what you're up to. Amen. Amen. Avoid complaining about your life to yourself, to others. Mark Twain said, "Comparison is the death of happiness." So I invite you to acknowledge your friend's success, to cheer them on, and to take steps to reach your own long-term goals. If you don't have them, meditate. What would they be? Allow them to unfold in you. Put yourself in a position where you are forced to work as a team and to share and to interact. Volunteering at Unity is a good way to do that. And when you have a setback, return to community and know that we love you just the way you are. And that we are here to support one another so that we can reframe what we perceive as a failure or perceive as an idea of not enough into the truth of health, wholeness, well-being, and abundance. And so I shall leave you with this thought by Lao Tzu. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world opens up to you. Namaste.